Let's continue our reinforcing, and we know guy went down there, so we don't want to bump into him. Now we've spotted him. There. Very good. Oh, we don't have the town back yet, but okay, well. At least we took out a unit there. You guys continue moving north. How much of a mess the railroads are in the... Oh, well, okay. Now, you're absolutely right. They were a mess. But what this game doesn't do is integrate the river system that was integrated as part. The railway is integrated into the river system that predates it. There, especially starting in Carolinas, not so much Texas. Well, Texas coastally down here, but this area, the Carolinas through this area here, not really Tennessee, but this is malaria country. This is hot. This is disease-ridden. That is why so many people are up in the north. It isn't until two things happen. One, malaria is basically defeated. I know quinine existed. They knew about quinine. They could get quinine, but it wasn't something that was common or everywhere. But malaria has more or less been defeated in the United States. And two, and they didn't understand that it was mosquito driven. I don't know when they may have figured it out by now. I don't know, in 1860s. I don't know, but eventually they figured out that it's mosquito borne and not just bad air. Because malaria, bad air, is basically what the term means. And two, in the more modern post World War II era, is air conditioning, that you can do work, including in factories and whatnot, in an air-conditioned environment. So that's gotten a lot of people to move out of here that freezes for a good chunk of the year, so that they're willing to put up with the heat because they can, get relief from the heat. Where prior to, air conditioning does show up around, I think in the 1880s, there's a dot, and it sort of shows up, refrigeration and air conditioning. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's like in the 1880s, to try to deal with medical patients and the heat. But that's just experimental and figuring out the process of creating artificial refrigeration. And a lot of that work is done in the United States. But it's not really until post World War II that huge, air conditioning at scale really starts coming in a major way, including into the South. And that's what gets people to be able to live comfortably there today. And that's why there's still a significant migration of people from the North to the South nowadays, is because of the air conditioning allows it to happen. And so, like I was saying, the riverways were and just too hot to build canals for a lot. Yeah, you could talk slavery, but just at the time that America, with the Erie Canal and whatnot, are really trying to get some, you can see it here, Erie Canal, getting it built, the railways show up. Before that, and IKB knows about them. IKB is our transportation expert, 19th century style. Is that there's a very sophisticated river system that is more, it's not necessarily navigable by ships like we think of them. There's a lot of river boats, but river boats don't necessarily, like the Mississippi Queen or whatever, big white, you see the sort of modern retro versions, that look like they're from before the American Civil War. Big, huge river, multi-story river boats with, all nicely painted with a big, huge paddle wheel in the back. They were, well, down to what you might call large rowboats with a small steam engine in it, to medium size, to all various sizes of these things, often a lot flat bottom. So a lot of these rivers are, and I don't know about each spar or each whatever here, but a lot of these are navigable in the sense that you can, with steam engine, you can go up and down them either way all year round. They're constantly sort of shifting, so you need pilots that know them. And so the idea here is that you could rapidly come to a place like here, Montgomery, get on steamships, steamboats, and get over to here and continue on. So it isn't, and this game doesn't do that well. And there were, and I'm not saying that, these are the few rivers here that are navigable to these classes of riverboats. But the others, again, there's probably other sections that could be on the map. I don't know that should be, but could be, but they're probably not worth doing as they didn't overly affect. So it's a system that worked well because the South was a resource center, not a manufacturing center. Its main resources were agricultural, not mining. And so either internally, bringing it to places like the Tennessee River here and going north, and then going north, and then going north, all the way up to Pittsburgh on a navigable river, or, heading out to the west or getting up to Chicago. You could get, I think, a bit closer. I think you get pretty damn close to Chicago with some navigable rivers. And then, of course, as the railways built up, and you can see here that there's a lot more railways are being built up in the north, that it works very well getting resources to the north or to the sea, which will go to the north or out to the rest of the world. It was a pretty good system. And you got to remember, what rail was showing up in force just 20 years, 30 years maximum, 1830s, really showing up in the United States. I'm not talking about a few, experimental or whatever. Again, IKB is a better expert on some of these than I am. Hey, Eric. But, so in 20 years, it ain't that bad. It's just, a combination of this game, but it was nothing like the North. That's for sure. I'll grant that. Okay, well, we can see that they've evacuated from there, so we'll take that. Keep pressuring on them. Yeah, I'll talk to you sometime off stream, and I'll send you messages, and we can organize up something when we can get together and chat a bit. We'll see. I want to hear about things and talk to you about some stuff. Okay, again, we're going to wait till we get horses before we push here. We've got horses here. Just alerted us to that. I'm going to sort of guess there's maybe somebody there. North, either way. Rather kill the unit than have it around. Move you up. Supply going forward. Okay, we're going to move you to the forest here then. This is where we need a... Okay, I get up. Yeah. I mean, almost equal exchange, not quite, but I didn't need that to happen. There. Okay, you retreat all the way out to there. That's fine. Well, very good. And I did see your post that things are working on the internet. I presume you saw my post of why we're not doing World War I today, and we'll see when we get to it. Still on the to-do list. Okay, now. And you shatter that and occupy that. Get over to the bridge into Springfield. Oh, here. Well, yeah, you don't. This river might be deceptive in that we can cross straight across it. You don't have to do the bridges, though you can see the bridges do help with the movement. I'm just not ready to push up. The further you push up here, the further you are away from here. I'm just not ready to push up across the river there. I still see a lot of forces moving up, and I want to clean up the rear areas first, I guess. IKB. Those exchange rates just don't look. I mean, they're slightly favorable, and I could kill a division, but to me, those are just bashing my head into the wall. You come to here. Okay, we saw that is... That cuts this railway, but they still have that railway. These guys are we're gonna undo that. These guys are gonna come up here. I think we may fortify Gettysburg. That might be a good place to have a fort. Well, these guys fucked out here in the swamp. It's gonna be bad supply. Yeah, next turn I hopefully will move them a little bit, get them into supply again. I don't know about this. How to take? I literally don't know how to take this because I couldn't offload either into the port or whatever. I don't know. Okay, we got these two big ironclads. That'll about wreck my little submarine. Okay, shatter him. Good. Good. Clearing up the Union Navy. The great. I don't know that we are going to simulate somehow the great locomotive chase. I do know that. Thank you, Singh. You have a good day or evening yourself. Okay, these guys get to the railway. These guys just get to the road. We're reorganizing up things there. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe we can move to Biloxi and try to take that just to get another little bit of points. Right, well. I just don't know, do I try to use the rail system and get them up to here? Do I march them up this way? Yeah. Let's march you guys. You guys we're going to reinforce because you're not in the best shape. Okay. Guys into the port to better do repairs. Sure thing, drunken barbarian. Good to have you back around. Well, I don't know that there's much more to do this turn. Oh, well, let's see what we're doing down in Mexico way. Let's look at supply. Next turn. Okay, that's actually better supply there. Oh. There we go. They're out there. Here, these guys, let's just... They have some supply there, but that'll be... We can't hang... They're going to get cut off if we hang out here. So. We'll try to get down to here next turn. Okay, it'll be a little bit of problems. We're going to use these two lakes to guard the flanks here. They come through too much of this. We can see here again on supply. You know, out here from our perspective, this has zero supply. So coming from there, these other roads, this area probably also has zero supply. So any units that go out there and stay there are going to die eventually. And anything moving through will get weaker. See about taking that. Those cores will probably change things a bit. Okay. think that's about all movement we're going to do here. Purchase. Probably not this turn. Can't purchase anything there yet. You guys aren't in. The Indians have any. Well, we can do another timber clad riverboat. We've got 3 corps still coming, 1 cavalry replacement group, brigade or division, and 2 Indian groups coming, so those will be nice. In November eventually, so. Right. And since we do have a lot, let's do some research. Well, let's do a leadership. Let's see if we can do that. Very good. Oh, diplomacy. How are we doing with? Okay. Britain's at 62, Spain's at 65. I think we'll leave it at that. Probably not going to get them in, not trying real hard. Yeah, you're going to suffer attrition. This has been a fiasco. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or the map just doesn't cooperate. Yeah, well, we're progressing along balloon development. Wow, 70% and 70%. Wow. But I think this both due to our taking and retaking territory, as well as our diplomatic efforts. It's thinking down there. Okay. Now that almost killed it, even though it was discovered. That didn't do too well. And they're coming after. So this is why I'm still far. I mean, we're doing very well for the Confederacy, but well, this, in my opinion, seems far from one. The whole Mexican thing is doing very poorly. Partially because I think I put so much effort into the Confederacy early on with the French, but that did turn the tide there. No, nothing from the port. Colonel George S. Patton is killed in action. Okay, Mexican Cavalry Brigade gets to show up there. Good. Well, you know, there are some Union ships up there, which are good to know. Well, okay, IKB. Surprised you don't know this, but Mexico defaulted on its loans, so the French and the British decided to collect on their loans. So they invaded Mexico, took over Veracruz, and I think some other ports. And the British were there just to collect the taxes, the import-export duties on things, to pay back the loans, plus the cost of collecting on the loan. The French decided that, under Napoleon III, decided they wanted to turn Mexico into the puppet. So the British left before they got all their tax money, because they're going, nope, we didn't sign up for this. We signed up for collecting taxes, not conquest of Mexico. So that's why we have the Mexican sideshow. Now, why, and I've talked about this before, and I'll cover it quickly here. Obviously, no European powers even recognized, let alone sent soldiers into the South. And slavery was a major reason, though not the only reasons why, in my opinion, they didn't do that. You know, if you're pretty sure the South is going to lose, why do you want to anger the North by recognizing the South even for a few years? So I think it's partially that. Now, my what if is, you know, we'll call them the Allies show up in Mexico to collect their taxes, and then Napoleon III wants to set up Maximilian I of Mexico, presumably going to be the first, or Maximilian as Emperor of Mexico, but, you know, as a puppet of France. What if some American politicians, could be like the Secretary of State, could be the president, could be a group of senators, you know, the senators are the ones who declare war in the United States, made public statements like, we will not let this stand. As soon as we're done with our American Civil War, we're going to go down and kick the French out of Mexico. You know, what if they made statements like that? Now, we could argue legitimately, I would say. Yes, there is somebody in there. Can we see anybody doing this? No. Thought there was somebody. Maybe he died from no supplies. I don't know. So what if they said this? And what would be and whether that was just a lot of hot air, because maybe once the war's over, the American populace won't have the stomach for sending American soldiers, you know, after a very bloody war, into more wars. But let's just say Napoleon III accepts this is going to be a fact. Oh, shit. Although they're not attacking me now, they're going to declare war on me, or at least on the Mexican emperor, and attack my French troops in Mexico, whether they, you know, send Union ships across the Atlantic or something, I don't know. But they're going to do this, and I'm militarily committed and want to expand the French, you know, empire, if you will, even if it's through puppets. What would Napoleon III do? Well, I don't know it in those kind of situations if it is so far-fetched that France wouldn't come in on the Confederate side. Definitely all the major European powers would like to see America diminished. So they would love to see it split between North and South. I think, particularly in Britain, but also in France and other places, slavery is very distasteful, so they really don't want to be seen supporting slavery. But if a de facto, declaration of war is declared, what would Napoleon do? Well, I could see Napoleon going, "Oh shit, this ain't good. We ought to come in on the war." So that is why I've come around, not to, because before I would have said no, that wasn't going to happen. Just that they'd actually come into the war. But as I thought about it more, with the idea that if you convinced in one fashion or another Napoleon III that war with America was inevitable, they might actually come in. I don't know how best to use this. I don't know how strong it's going to be. Obviously, see here, because this railway here, and it probably cut by the war here, because Harper's Ferry is, in. I'm sure there was railway connections here, but with this map, there's no. You have to take Washington D.C. So I can't move this train up into here. It can only move along the railways. I can rail move it, strategically move it to get it out here. I think that's maybe what I should do. They're probably going to be more useful out in the west. So let's do that. Yeah, let's just put it here. Get it down here. Well, you fall all the way back to there. You occupy Aberdeen. I think you'll be strong enough to hold it. This would be the better strategic move because we are flanking. The units down here. There's got to be somebody in that town. We'll go this way. Do AIs worry? Is the AI worried about some of the flanking moves I am doing? I wonder. Hopefully that'll be in supply. Yeah, a little bit. Keep starving. Good. Now, down here with our ships. Okay, let's max him out. Let's max him out, even though it's France. I am feeling a bit like I've overextended myself a bit. Well, that worked out well. Minor inconvenience, take out a core. Well, and the French. The French. What does that cost? Properly equipped. More than we have. Okay, we'll save up some more. Oh, we got to move these guys because we want to get back Biloxi, Mississippi. Let's go to the road quicker. Gotta remember to move these guys. I think we're just marching over to here to get Jacksonville back in. Guys, we moved. I know they came down and bombarded Fort Monroe here.